You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to College Loop Podcast. I'm Dylan, able to take on Twitter. Thank you for tuning in to this installment of the College Loop Podcast. Despite it being a little bit later than usual, I made sure this episode came out because I think it is super special to the 2025 football season. As you know, breaking news: Auburn loses two more defensive backs to the transfer portal. Terrence Love was the first one to go the day after 8A, or probably even the day of 8A. After that, two more DBs have hit the portal as J.C. Hart and C.J. Johnson have have announced their intentions to enter the spring cycled transfer portal. Now, I take this as a good sign. Now, whenever I talk about the future of 2025 and the future of Auburn's football program, and this kind of gets me right into what I want to talk about today, this freshman class that's coming in has started off hot. They have come in prepared to play football at the highest level you could play college ball in the SEC. And what they are doing in spring ball, what they did at 8A, nothing short of amazing. And when you see three older veteran players in the portal like this, some people, the immediate thought is playing time. And that's a great sign for the freshmen coming in, that they have just been absolutely phenomenal. There we go. Since the start of spring practice. And what I want to talk about today is I want to go through the freshman class, and I'm not going to go through all of it. I think I have six listed. Yeah, I have 6 players, 6 freshmen that I think you are going to see on the field without a doubt. And some guys that I left off this list that I could have made the argument for are kind of guys who, I don't think they're way down the depth chart. But I don't think you're going to see Alvin Henderson. Hollis Davidson's a maybe. O-lineman I kind of stayed away from for a little bit. Bryce Diaz I thought about. And then lastly, the honorable mention of this list is Jordan Crawford. He had a great spring. I think with his position, you'll see him, but you will probably see him more sparingly than the rest of them. Everybody else, I expect to see like out and about, ready to go. So with that, I want to start with the guy who's on the thumbnail. Sam Turner is a guy I think is going to be I don't want to say immediate impact player, but definitely a guy who's going to get into the rotation very, very early. Now, we've said on occasion, and as does everyone else, Auburn has the best wide receiver room in the SEC. And if you don't want to go that far, they're going to have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the SEC, let alone one of the best in the country. And if no one's thinking that, they are dumb, because Auburn, at least, that puts Auburn in the underrated category. With Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson, Malcolm Simmons coming back, you brought in guys like Horatio Fields and, of course, Eric Singleton. You have Bryce Kane coming off a redshirt year. And then you bring in the freshmen, the Derek and Eric Smith, which you haven't seen a lot. They're not on campus yet. I think they're going to be here over the summer. But Sam Turner came in and absolutely balled out all of spring. He has been one of the most talked about players during all of spring ball. And the best part about it, this is a guy who is a 3-star wide receiver. Did not get the love from the scouts, because he has come out and he has played like a 5-star for Auburn this far. And he sounds like he's taken up the Malcolm Simmons route, where it's like, all right, well, you got these other 2 guys that you're looking at, and the sense of Auburn looking at the portal guys, and you're like, okay, well, some of these guys aren't going to all ball out. And then like last year, it was Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson were the 2 guys you were looking out for, and then Malcolm Simmons just took off like a lightning bolt, just came up out of nowhere. Sam Turner did the same thing. I would find it very hard to believe if we don't see Sam Turner get a fair share of receptions thrown his way. And it's going to be a hard season to find a balance for all these guys. But Sam Turner is demanding targets going into the next season. Now, up next, I could pair these 3 guys up in the same category here, because you talk about you losing 3 DBs to the portal. Probably going to lose some more guys throughout the entire cycle being open. But I just want to start off with Blake Woodby. The 4-star defensive back out of Maryland has, again, been outstanding throughout spring practice. Has really taken over a role in this defense. I mean, the Auburn secondary was great last year because of how young and talented they were. They were constantly rotating in and out, and it was very rarely you got to see this unit get really slaughtered through the passing game. And enter Blake Woodby, great cover corner, maybe a little handsy at times, but that comes with age. You can obviously fix that down the line. But what Blake Woodby adds is a guy that's, after you get past Kyan Lee and Jordan Crawford on the depth chart, you need some guys who can fill in those roles. Champ Anthony, I see, is more as a nickel guy, and seeing him as the guy guarding the slot. So you need guys like big, physical defensive backs who can force wide receivers to get uneasy. And I think Blake Woodby is just that. And I mean, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the rest of them. Anquan Fegans. I mean, you're looking at safeties and Terrence Love's case and some nickel guys in JC Hart's case. And Anquan Fegans comes in and he balls out, forces two guys to transfer out because of how good he has been thus far. Coming out of Thompson, dude was an absolute monster on the field and has just been nothing short of amazing. He obviously, I mean, this is a shoehorn into who is a shoe-in for how good Anquan Fegans has been, and him getting an immediate spot in the rotation right away. And I mean, even combining that with Eric Winters, who's up next on my list. These two guys who are both safeties, and Eric Winters is more of a safety. Anquan Fegans can play, kind of the star safety mix. On A-Day, Deuce Knight had two very bad throws. They were both interceptions. Those interceptions were caught by one Anquan Fegans and one Eric Winters. Again, these two have just been so athletic and so what's the word? They've been making plays all throughout spring. And I find it crazy that Auburn has struck gold twice with defensive backs in high school. You start off last year with Jordan Crawford. I said Jordan Crawford earlier. Oh my Lord. Crawford. You strike gold with him last year, and dude just lit it up whenever he got on the field. Jalen Crawford. There we go. Jalen Crawford. Jordan Crawford is the nose tackle. Jalen Crawford was outstanding last year. When Keontae Scott kind of hit a dip in production, Jalen Crawford stepped in and was an absolute dog. Now you look at this year, you got a trio of dogs. And Devin Williams is going to be one eventually, but he is, of course, dealing with an injury. I don't know if it's a torn. I don't think it's a torn. I don't want to say anything if I don't know exactly what it is, but I do know he does not practice on A-Day. But dude, I am so stoked for this trio of DBs that have already gone out there and balled out. And I'm going to keep a defense here. Going on with the theme here, Malik Autry. I will never not talk about Malik Autry being a candidate for a freshman who's going to see the field early and often. Just from watching film, the 4-star defense tackle out of Opelika, dude he's a monster. 6'6", 320 pounds of just ferociousness. And I want to see Malik Autry and Malik Blockton next to each other just on the D line, because I think that's just going to be so difficult for any defensive line or offensive line, to stop. Especially if you talk about a next year, 2026, if you can maintain all this talent, seeing a developed Malik Autry and a 2-year developed Malik Blockton, I mean, dude, that's a defensive line that history books are written about. I am, again, DJ Durkin has done a phenomenal job with recruiting defense and finding ways to turn this unit into one of the top in the SEC and in the country. To be TBD on that one. Malik Autry is going to be an absolute dog, and I will die on that hill. If there is one Malik Autry fan out there, it's me. I am super stoked to see how he develops into the system and how he gets utilized in year one. And again, kind of going on with honorable mentions, I almost put Jared Smith on this, but I think with the edge rushers that came in through the portal and with the guys coming back, find it hard to see him on the field too much. I think he'll get on the field. I don't think he'll be a staple like I'm thinking of some of these other guys. But another guy I want to talk about is a position that Auburn probably needs to go after in the portal a little bit, and more on that on Thursday, talking about potential targets, not potential targets, but potential positions that need to be targeted in the portal. But Elijah Melendez has had a great spring as well. And with DeMarcus Riddick being sidelined due to an injury and recovering from an injury, I don't want to say coming back from an injury, but definitely recovering from something. Elijah Melendez stepped in and has been playing very well. I think, dude is built like a freight train. He walked in, he got Eugene Asante's number, and he looks just like him when he's playing. Dude's an absolute monster. I think he's going to be playing early, strictly. If Auburn doesn't go after linebackers in the portal, I could see Elijah Melendez being a borderline starter at that position, and just needing to have like one good week to get that role. I mean, him and DeMarcus Riddick would boast a great little two-man tandem there. But right now, I don't think he'll be the starter. I think he'll be the guy right after them. He'll be one of the first guys to come in. And that's saying if Auburn needs to go after linebackers in the portal. You probably need about one, more than likely. You need a veteran. That's what you're really searching for. You need a veteran linebacker to put into this room to kind of help all these other guys grow. You still got DJ Barber and Joe Phillips to kind of develop, and you got some other guys that are coming in. Robert Woodyard is a veteran guy who's going to be a starter next to DeMarcus Riddick. But you probably need one more veteran. It's kind of in the same light as when you got Dorian Mausi later on from last year. You needed another veteran leader to come into this room. And, of course, Dorian Mausi was the leading tackler for this defense last season. So, yeah, I'm super stoked for every single freshman. This class of 2025 is – I mean, there's a lot of these guys who've come in and just stepped in and has balled out the entire time. And, I mean, I didn't want to put Deuce down here. I think Jackson Arnold's still very much a starter. Deuce might get to play sparingly, only in hopefully the G5 or FCS game. But the 2026 class, I think, could even be better if it continues to trend in the way it is. Yeah. So word fillers are coming out of my mouth right now. So that's it for the football conversation. I mean, those are the freshmen. Let me know what freshmen you think can play early and often for Auburn football next season. And who do you think it'll be? Do you think Deuce Knight could win the starting job before Auburn takes on Baylor on August 29th? Whatever time it is, do not know. But with that, that's going to do it for the football segment of today's show. We're going to keep talking a little bit about football when we get back from the break. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes, looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program. You can find that merch on thewarreport.com. Go to the shop, and on the second page, you'll find the college loop hat and the Feelin' Loopy t-shirt, most comfortable items you're ever wear in your entire life. But, of course, only one way to support the channel. The best way to support the channel is, of course, by liking the video, by subscribing to the channel, and by commenting on every single video. We're getting to very close to 1,000 subscribers. It'd be a super cool milestone to hit. And with that, continue on with the football conversation just for a little tidbit. Not 8A. SEC Media Days has announced the date of which Auburn will be conversing with the media. It will be on Tuesday, July 15th. Where you'll get to see Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas. Of course, the other days, first day on the 14th will be LSU, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. Wednesday, Bama, Florida, Mississippi State, and Oklahoma. And then Thursday, Arkansas, Kentucky, Missouri, and Texas A&M. Be very interesting Tuesday, I must say. That one kind of wins the interesting days. I mean, you got Auburn, who should be like poised to have an 8-win season. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Kirby Smart, who has been having an off season to forget because of how many players keep getting arrested, and of course Josh Heupel kind of showed up Nico Iamaleava and let him know that you're not bigger than the team. So a lot of talking points to go on Tuesday with the 4 coaches. I don't really Sark is just kind of the outlier there. I guess Arch Manning. I guess Arch Manning would be the big question here, but it'll be interesting to see who Hugh Freeze brings to media days. I already think Keldrick Falk is like a shoe in for this. I think it's Keldrick and then whoever else that gets picked. Leader wise, I want to say they probably bring Jackson Arnold just because. I don't know if they would or not. Offensive line, probably see Jeremiah Wright get brought in. But I mean, you could even see like DeMarcus Riddick could absolutely kill in this. Guys like Kyan Lee could also be put there. I wonder if they bring a special teamer, bring the punter, bring Hudson Cack, or Reed Hughes. You bring the long snapper, bring the long snapper at SEC Media Days. Reed Hughes needs to be on SEC Media Days. I think that'd be a great addition, and the media would absolutely love that, or at least I would. I will hopefully be in attendance for media days. So yeah, it'd be super huge to see the long snappers get some love. But yeah, that's the media days. As we continue on with the show, Auburn women's basketball news real quick, because I have some beef with the WNBA. I need someone to explain to me how DeYona Gaston did not get drafted. That makes no sense to me. This is the first year that I can't say I really watched the WNBA draft, but I kept up with it. I had it pulled up on my ESPN app on my phone and my computer, and so then I waited. And I just after every pick, I was looking at it, and every time I told the pick is in, I was like, get ready. I was like, let me get rid of the logo. I have a whole graphic ready to go whenever DeYona Gaston gets signed. I don't know how someone who averaged almost 30 points, or actually I think did average 30 points in the SEC last year. I don't know how she did not get drafted. No, nothing in 22 points, not 30 points. She scored 30 a lot this season, but at 22 points, 7 rebounds last year, shot 54% from the field, ran the court for Auburn most of the season, was one of the lone bright spots for the season. I don't understand how she did not get drafted. Aisha Coulibaly got drafted, which, I mean, Aisha Coulibaly was really good for Auburn, but I mean, I'm taking Gaston 10 times out of 10. I don't understand. And I've looked around. I was trying to find anybody and everybody who could talk to me about this. They don't know. They don't know why she didn't get drafted. Auburn should have a player getting drafted in the WNBA draft this year. It should have happened yesterday. Absolutely dumb. Absolutely stupid. And a joke of a draft. It's the worst. Worst news I've gotten in the past week. All right. Auburn men's basketball news. Moving on with the show. Keyshawn Hall was the first commit of the transfer portal for the Auburn Tigers. Talking about that about a week ago. Auburn has now added yet another transfer into their portal class coming in. Of course, Auburn's got to go heavily in the portal, but had struck gold twice. As I say, mostly Keyshawn Murphy out of Mississippi State, the junior, 6'10", 230 pounds, going to his 4th year, so be a senior. Last year for Mississippi State, averaged 11 points, 11.7 points, and 7.4 rebounds. Also had an assist and a half for an average. Shot 56% from the field. Don't really talk about the 3-point percentage because that's not really what he's known for. A very dominant big, 6'10". I mean, you're looking at probably a 4 or playing the 5. Is what you're looking at right here. And I don't want to say FB upgrade. It's not an upgrade over Janai, but point-wise, it's an upgrade for Dylan. I will say, but I'm not sure if they're going to play him at the 5. I think Auburn still wants to get probably some 7-footers, and there would be a very good pickup there. But Keyshawn Cam is like a stretch 4 or 5 kind of guy. Great pickup though, absolutely phenomenal pickup. Bruce Pearl, I would say JP Pegues was a miss, but I still stand by JP Pegues being a great member of the team. I just didn't get to see a lot of them, but rarely has Bruce Pearl missed on a transfer, and Keyshawn Murphy is going to be a massive part to Auburn's scheme next year. And Keyshawn Hall, dude, I am super stoked to watch him play next year. Right now, I mean, you're sitting there waiting to see what the team's going to look like. I mean, right now, I mean, the only guys you know for a fact are kind of coming back are, well, I say that. You don't really know who's coming back. Todd Pettiford is going to the NBA draft, but left his college eligibility open. Chad Baker-Mazara hasn't like officially stated whether or not he's coming back or not. I want to think he is. But you know for a fact you're getting Sebastian Williams-Adams and Caden Magwood and Simon Walker and Abdul Bashir on your team. And bringing in Keyshawn Hall and Keyshawn Murphy are great additions to a team that needs players on the team so badly. I mean, this is a transfer portal is going to be popping for Auburn basketball going forward. Now, last little tidbit, of course, tomorrow, the 16th, no, tomorrow, the 17th. On the 17th, Olivia Greaves and Gabby McLaughlin will be taking on the Nationals or NCAA Championship semifinals. Olivia Greaves will be taking on the Bars, and Gabby will be taking on the Beam. So it'll be a huge, huge week for those two. We're talking more about that on the Thursday show, kind of figuring out who they're going to be playing and what's up for them. I would love it to get. I mean, Auburn gymnastics had such a great season, and it was a season I can't lie, I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was. Was super stoked to see the program continue to be as good as it. I mean, I don't think there was like a true. This is the first time I can officially say Auburn did not have like a standalone star like we've seen in recent years, like with Suni Lee or De'Aaron Goborn or Cassie Stevens the past years. Sophia Groth is like the closest thing you get to that, but as a whole, that's probably the most like one that a squad has been thus far. And I mean, it worked out very well. You made it to the second round of the NCAA championships. Glad to see, hopefully we can see a lot more of them in the postseason as the years go on. But that'll do it for the Sum of the College Loop podcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this episode, despite how late it's coming out. I do thank all of you yet again. Of course, I'm Dylan Everton on Twitter. Find me on Instagram as well at Dylan DYLENLARCK. If I'm ready for the College Loop podcast, if you like, comment, and subscribe. Audio versions of the show available as well on Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And of course, social media platforms. Literally all of them. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works. All those at the College Loop. And with all being said, thanks for this is the College Loop podcast yet again. And as always, War Eagle.